We Indians, we love to make investments in gold. In fact, gold has been part of our traditional ceremonies, our special occasions since time immemorial. So we have, as a country, we have an emotional attachment towards this metal. But is it a right time to make investments in gold? Now, just like any other commodity, the price depends upon two major factors, which is demand and supply. And in the case of gold, the demand comes from two major factors, which are central banks and consumption-based demand. So if you just take a data of last 5 years, we will see that out of the top 10 economies in the world, 7 of these economies have not made any additions to their gold reserves. In fact, Germany and Switzerland have reduced their gold reserves, and 3 economies, India, China and Russia, they have added to their gold reserves, but the percentages are not very high. If we just take the data from December 2014 till December 2019, China, India, US, Germany, all over the world, there has been a fall in the consumption demand for gold. This is a very big reason why you'll never see that, earlier, maybe 10 years back, people used to still wear a lot of jewelry and roam around, and now that has gone down, certainly. And also, there are more gifting options. So earlier, gold used to be a big gifting factor. Now there are more options. So people are diverting from demanding gold for these consumption factors. So what are my top 3 reasons why gold should not be a very big part of your portfolio? First is that if you consider gold and its performance in the last 10 years, then gold has just given single-digit returns, which has just barely matched maybe the inflation figure or slightly above that. But it has not been a very big inflation-beating investment asset class. If you just compare it to maybe even Sensex or Nifty, then they have given much better returns. The second point why gold should not be a major chunk in your portfolio is because forward going, I do not see the demand for gold rising. So just like I explained that, the price of a commodity depends on either demand or supply. So if supply is considered, if we just take an assumption that the supply is constant and the demand is not going up, then I don't see that, demand is going to lead to much higher prices for gold. The third factor is that physical storage of gold involves storage cost, transaction cost, and of course maintenance as well. How much gold should we have in our portfolio ultimately? Well, as a financial planner, it's my personal opinion that as a safe haven product, gold should not be more than 10 to 15% of your portfolio. And just as a hedging instrument. If at all you have to invest in gold, then you must keep these 3 things in mind. A, instead of trying to purchase physical gold, you can now avail of beautiful products through which you can make investments in gold. For example, the sovereign gold bond or gold ETFs. Now, the sovereign gold bond is a bond issued by the government of India, where you not just capture the capital appreciation in the price, but you also make an annual interest of 2.4%, which is given by the government to the bondholder. However, there is a lock-in period, so it is not a very, very liquid investment, in which means that you cannot just sell it and take back the money whenever you need. So, for better liquidity, you can consider investing in an ETF, which is an exchange-traded fund, where the liquidity is slightly higher. So you can divest and you can take back your money. Now, the second point that you need to keep in mind while purchasing gold is that if you're purchasing physical gold, then it has to be hallmarked and you have to know the purity, right? So make sure that it's hallmarked and make sure that you check for its purity. If you're purchasing jewelry, then you should not consider it as an investment because jewelry is meant for consumption purpose. The moment you try to take your jewelry back, there are a lot of making charges which are cut from the price. So that's why you're not able to consider it as a pure investment. So that's my take on gold for now.